Police say after 6 weeks, they have arrested a suspect in the brutal attack. That suspect has been identified by police as 28-year-old Brian Koberger. He was arrested Friday in Pennsylvania.
Happy New Year, ladies and gents, and the families of the Idaho killings have a little bit to celebrate this year. They finally got the son of a bitch that killed their kids on the 13th of last November. Now, they keep on saying the word suspect, but I feel that they have enough evidence because they've put out his full name and they put out a picture of him. So you ain't gonna do that if you're not confident enough with the evidence that you have to put against him in the court to charge him with the quadruple murders. So I honestly believe in my heart that this ugly bastard did this and will be charged with all of their murders. Now, before I get to this article, I'm going to say I've got a few questions about this, just like many people have that are following this story. But before I do that, I'm going to read from this article first. The article goes on to say, the 28-year-old was arrested in Pennsylvania. The police knocked on his parents' home at 3 a.m. on Friday. The parents and the suspect were all very cooperative. It then goes on to say, in 2018 he finished his associate's degree in psychology. Then he went on to complete his bachelor's degree in 2020. Now wait for it, he even has a PhD in criminology at Washington State University, which is only 15 minutes drive from Moscow, Idaho. This guy is a very intelligent guy. People that know the suspects go on saying that he is very calm and very intelligent person. The suspect, as well as his parents, were all very shocked by the arrest that morning. The parents of the suspect go on saying this is out of character of their son. Now, me personally, do I think the parents are covering for him or know that he did the murders? That he committed the murders? Maybe, maybe not. It's not the first time parents would cover for their kids and lie for their kids, and it sure hell won't be the last. So, do I believe that the parents know? It's a 50-50 for me. Maybe they know everything, maybe they know absolutely nothing. Only time will tell. Now, for the people who don't live in America, like myself, I had to Google search how far Idaho and Pennsylvania was, okay? This fucker, he didn't even drive. I think his father drove, okay? His dad went 2,300 miles and then 2,300 miles back just to pick up his son. That's fucking weird, okay? I wouldn't even go 100 miles to pick up my son, if I had a son, okay? Fuck you, you got into that fucking location, you can bring your ass back. But 2,300 miles? Are you fucking serious? Now, there's still no murder weapon at this time, and at this point of time, that fucking murder weapon could have been melted down or fucking thrown into any river, okay? But they have found the white Hyundai car that was seen on the CCTV that was in the area at the time of the killings. So they have that vehicle now. Will they have any DNA evidence in that vehicle? Again, only time will tell. Police chief said some of the 19,000 tips the police received in this investigation were essential to the arresting of Koberger, but won't say when he became a suspect or what brought him to their attention. There is still no motive at this time for the killings. Now, at the start of the video, I said I had a few questions, which again many people have. Okay, my questions are, why? Okay, why did he choose the 4 victims? And why didn't he kill the 2 in the basement? Did he not know that there were 2 other housemates in that house at the time? Or did he just leave them just to confuse investigators. My other questions are how? How did he enter the house without anybody hearing him? How did he kill all the other housemates without any of them hearing anything? No screams, no laid bangs, nothing. Like I said, two of the people that he killed were sharing the same bed upstairs. Okay, and Ethan and Zana were also sharing the same bed. How did he get away with this without waking anybody up? I know he did wake some of them up because two of them had defensive wounds, but I still don't know how. It's like as if he had a mute button for every victim he stabbed.
More insight on today's arrest and what happens moving forward.
Our Fox 32 expert on this, retired FBI Special Agent Ross Rice, joining us this afternoon to offer his perspective. Ross, good to see you. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
Okay, so at that press conference, the prosecutor saying all the evidence that led to Kohlberger's arrest is now sealed. Can you speculate on the type of evidence that can lead to an arrest like this, that can lead to murder charges after 7 weeks of basically nothing?
Well, we can speculate, Anthony, and we're not going to know for sure how this case was solved until that probable cause affidavit is unsealed. But that will be a roadmap to the entire investigation from the moment the first 911 call came in until his arrest. My guess is it's going to be forensic evidence. It's going to be evidence that was recovered at the crime scene over a week, several weeks, maybe even longer of meticulous processing, and then eventually linking that evidence to the defendant. It doesn't sound like there was an eyewitness to the crime. If there was, it would have been solved much earlier.
Yeah, and that probable cause affidavit that we're waiting for, very much like closer to home, the Delphi murders, right? We were waiting for the judge to unseal that so we could see what kind of evidence led to the suspect's arrest in that case. Can you talk about the technology in this case that they might have used to trace this guy all the way from Idaho to Pennsylvania?
I don't think it would have been too hard to trace him. Once they connected him somehow to the crime, they were able to figure out who he was. He was a graduate student at Washington State University. They could get information from the college about him, where he's from. Apparently, he's originally from Pennsylvania. And I think tracking him down was the simple part. It was getting him connected to the crime and developing enough probable cause for a judge to sign the warrant that was the difficult part of the investigation.
You know, we've spent the last 7 weeks essentially with basically nothing. It seemed like there was a lot of frustration even from the Idaho Police Department just this past week saying, hey, stop with all the speculation, stop with all the rumors. It's making our jobs even more difficult. And then it felt like today's arrest came out of nowhere. Could it have been deliberate that police were being so tight-lipped up until now?
Well, they were tight-lipped, Anthony, because they had nothing to say. You don't conduct your investigations through the media. You don't want to identify someone as a suspect if there isn't enough evidence to charge them with the crime. And the reasons for that should be quite obvious. You don't want to besmirch someone's reputation, and you don't want to jeopardize your investigation. You're right, though. Something happened within the last 2 or 3 days. Some evidence was developed, kind of the linchpin of the whole investigation came together, which resulted in enough probable cause to have the charges submitted to a judge and approved yesterday. What that was, again, we don't know. My guess would be some sort of forensic examination came back, or a match was made on an obscure database that they hadn't had access to or hadn't been able to check prior to this.
So what happens next then? We know that Kohlberger has his next court hearing on Tuesday. What can we expect at that? What happens next?
He will be formally charged in Pennsylvania, and he will have the opportunity either to fight or to waive extradition. If he waives extradition, he'll be returned to Idaho probably within the week. If he decides to fight extradition, there will be a fairly drawn-out legal process in Pennsylvania where authorities will have to prove that the person in custody in Pennsylvania is the same person identified in the complaint filed in Idaho, and that there is, in fact, probable cause to charge him with this crime.
And the second you charge this motherfucker with the quadruple murders, okay, you bring him to Idaho, you put him in the middle of the field so everybody in that community can see this bitch. You fucking string him up, okay? You string him up and you shoot that motherfucker against the post. You publicly execute him in front of fucking everyone, okay? So you make an example. Anybody that wants to follow in his shoes and commit these crimes, this is what's going to happen to you. You will not be glorified like Ted Bundy or fucking John Wayne Gacy. We are living in different times now. You have to get more extreme with these people. Now, by the time I've uploaded this video, maybe more questions have been answered. Who knows? But until then, I just want to say to the families that lost all these kids, I'm so sorry that you have to go through this. Okay, but hopefully, like I said, this will bring some closure to you, that they finally got the bastard who killed your kids, and the students of Idaho as well can rest easily and sleep easily at night time, knowing that the killer's now been arrested. So again, ladies and gents, thank you very much for watching. I will be uploading another video because there was a video that I was going to upload before this, and it was a shooting in Liverpool in the UK, Christmas Eve. A young lady was caught in a crossfire at a pub called the Lighthouse, I believe, and she was shot in the head right in front of her sister. That comes from a country that not supposed to have guns. So that'll be my next video. But again, thank you very much for watching. If you have got it this far, if you want to subscribe, please do so. If you want to leave a comment to let me know what you think about this, again, the comment section down below should be open. I'm not only on YouTube, I'm also on BitChute, so I'll be uploading on both sites. I do have a Twitter, and I do have a Instagram as well, so I'll try and link that in the description down below. But again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again next time. Be safe, and Happy New Year.